A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... He landed in the Divine Dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation.
For some folks, when we go short track racing, they all have one thing on their mind. It's never too early for a VB Longneck. It's time to go racing here at the 1987 version of North Wilkesboro Speedway here in Wilkes County. 12th round of the 9th season of the Venom Truck Series. We are knocking on the door of Chase Racing, and it only ratchets up from here. Welcome back into VTS coverage here on Turn 200. It's Tommy Cook hanging out with you. I'm a little bit under the weather here tonight. Apologies for that, but we got Matt Williamson alongside. You have a storied history here at North Wilkesboro with the Venom Truck Series. It's always a very interesting one. You could definitely say that about this 0.6 of a mile oval track.
Yeah, there's a lot of history here with the Venom Truck Series at North Wilkesboro. There's no doubt about it. It's a favorite for some. It's maybe a least favorite for others. Yeah, there's always some. I don't want to say always extracurriculars, but there seems to be some interesting things that happens between drivers here for some reason. So, yeah, we're looking forward to this one though. We're at a point in the season where things are coming to a close, and drivers are going to have to make things happen.
The final half of last week's race was bizarre, to say the least. But what it has done is it has set Matt Schlosser apart atop the point standings, and everybody else got closer. We didn't think it could, but it's happening.
Yeah, here's a look at those points for you. And, yeah, Matt Schlosser is up there. He's gapped Chad Stearns by quite a bit at this point. Those two were, just 5 points away from each other for quite a few weeks in a row. He's now 31 points above Chad Stearns. John Kay, Luke Peterson, they've kind of worked their way up a little bit. Hayden Palumbo, they're all kind of, in my mind, good. I think when you start getting down to Andy Poliski, Josh Freed, Zach Lockett, all very, very close in points together. That's when you kind of got to start worrying about this last couple races of the season here. Josh Matichek, he's right down there in 9th, and Jeremy McKinnon, only 1 point to the good right now. That is certainly not the best spot to be. You got a lot of hungry drivers there looking to get into the top 10. Tyler Logan, Brantley, Gainey, Jan Van Leer, Brody Gunter, and Rodney Matney are in your top 15. So, I mean, when you look at 6th on back, it is going to be it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out, no doubt about it.
And keep this up for a second. Let's talk about the big winners and the big losers from last week. We'll start with the negative, I suppose. Of course, Chad Stearns going for the regular season championship. Ran a great race last week until his internet kicked him out there right at the end. So he lost a ton of points in that battle. Zach Lockett was not here. Jan Van Leer was not here. Jan was above the cut line coming into the night last week. So he now has work to do. Lockett lost a ton of his cushion down to 8th. That's the lowest he's been all season. But then you talk about the big gainers. Jeremy McKinnon has missed 3 races this season. That just goes to show how well he is running. He is absolutely driving the wheels off this thing week in and week out. Tyler Logan with a big move. He's not on this graphic, but Austin Holyfield is just a couple points away from being in this top 15. He's got a shot at it. And, of course, last week's big race winner, Andy Poliski, jumped up a couple spots, got himself just about doubled his cushion from last week to this week as well. And another big loser, Brantley Gainey, with his first real problems of the season, has moved below the cut line now as well. So lots to keep our eyes on, and what is already going to be a wild race here tonight at North Wilkesboro. It always is. Getting ready for 165 laps here in just about 10 seconds. But first, hello to everybody that's hanging out with us here tonight. Stickers of Queen going to cheer on Rodney Matney. We got Robin Matichek and Bailey Matichek as well. Going to cheer on Joshua. He did not get one. He got one qualifying lap in. It was his second one. His first one, he put it in the wall. That was good enough to get him into the top 10. And Tyler Bergert, always a short track guy. I'm sure we'll be watching him as this one goes along here tonight. So hello to Lisa Kelly, and thank you to everybody that is hanging out with us here tonight. It's never too early for VB Longneck 165 here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. And with his 8th career pole, with the Venom Truck Series, his 4th of the season, Brody Gunter needs a bounce back big time here tonight. He will lead the field to the green. Matt Schlosser, exactly where he finished last week, he starts tonight in P2. It is Jan Van Leer and John Kay on row number 2. 2 former winners here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway with the Venom Truck Series. Chad Stearns would love to get himself back into the fight for the regular season championship. He'll start in 5th. Next to last week's race winner, another previous winner here with the Venom Truck Series, it is Andy Poliski starting at 6th. Hayden Palumbo will have an EOL. He qualifies 7th, however. Luke Peterson will be on the outside of row number 4. Joshua Matichek, Paul Ellison back tonight once again. He'll start in 10th. It is Kyle Zittel and Zach Lockett, who is back here tonight. He'll start in 12th. Jeremy McKinnon back at 13th. Kevin Sargent with the first top 10 of the season last week will start in 14th. Austin Holyfield, Tyler Logan on row number 8. It is Steve Roman, Brian Mitchell, Tyler Berger, Brantley Gainey, the rest of the top 20. Josh Freed way back there in 21st. Garrett Rainey in 22nd. Rodney Matney, Gary Clark, Paul Sargent, Eric Breeding, your 26 drivers who took qualifying time. Cole Maxwell matched his career best Venom Truck Series finish last week. He'll start deep in the pack tonight, 27th. Pascal Samard will round out the field here tonight at North Wilkesboro. Under the North Carolina sunshine, Matt Williamson, what are these drivers having to be prepared for here this evening?
Yeah, as we take a look at the track conditions here, just over a half mile here around North Wilkesboro, the track temperature right now is 89 degrees. So it's not super warm, but it's not super cool either. We are in the sunshine here, as Tommy just mentioned a moment ago. We got 165 laps around North Wilkesboro. 3 sets of tires. That's going to be very important here on the old track surface. No fast repairs. And the pit window really doesn't matter at this point. So, yeah, we are going to have some cautions, and they'll likely be able to make it on fuel. Average 14 cautions per race last season was a 22 caution race. That was a rough one. Looking to do better here tonight. Winners in the past: Greg Elliott, John Kay, Andy Poliski, and Jan Van Leer won last season.
No Greg Elliott here tonight, but the other 3 are here, and they are green at North Wilkesboro.
Oh, see some 3 wide on the start there already. They get it sorted out further in the back.
Even with the cool track temperatures, these trucks don't have a lot of grip. They need to build up the temperature. Lap number 1 will go in the books here under green. And it is Gunter setting the pace. Oh, McKinnon up the track nearly tags the tail of the 93 of Zach Lockett. They continue to go side by side. Some side by side just outside of the top 5 as well. Peterson on the outside of Chad Stearns. I heard one in the wall. I believe it's Garrett Rainey. Down the front straightaway, he will drop all the way to the tail of the field. But we stay green.
Yeah, from about Peterson on back, it's been double file for quite a while. Caution is out.
Now we've got a problem. I believe Eric Breeding and Paul Sargent have gotten together. It looks like some other drivers in the area there as well. Cole Maxwell says over his radio that he's going to take responsibility for that one. So we know the players involved. Nobody looks too torn up, though, but that will put us under the first caution of the night.
We'll take a look. This is off of turn 2. Looks like Maxwell is behind Breeding here at this point, and Palumbo up in front of Breeding. Maxwell gets a big run into the 26. Taps that back bumper on entry into the corner, and that is going to result in a slide like this just about every time. Breeding does a good job of not getting into anybody else, and Paul Sargent does a good job of avoiding contact there as well. He went down into the grass, but doesn't look like any contact with that inside wall. So, looks like everybody's pretty much okay.
We're abandoning some of the short track rules that we put in place here previously. Automatic cautions are on. And this was the race last season that sort of spurred the changes on. So we'll see how temperamental these auto cautions are going to be here this evening. Only 2 drivers down pit road here under this caution. One of them is Garrett Rainey, who I bet had some damage. Austin Holyfield is the other one, however, as he qualified inside the top 15. So a little mix-up here for the 10 of Holyfield, who is on a good stretch of 2 top 10 finishes in a row coming into tonight. Also a note from race control passed along to the drivers earlier. If we start stacking up the cautions, they reserve the right to shift us over to single file for as long as they see fit, or indeed maybe for the rest of the duration of the race. Will that be necessary? We hope not, but it certainly might.
I'm not even sure we went there on the record caution race. So that's,
no, we did not.
That's something that they've put in place that might be new here for the Venom Truck Series.
Yeah, it's a little
Hopefully
proactive.
We don't get to that point.
Yeah, let's hope. The 01 and the 04, Gunter elects the inside. Coming to a restart here on lap number 9. Schlosser on the outside, and boy, he does not get off the rip very well. Oh, and nearly contact between Jan Van Leer and John Kay. As John now to the inside of Schlosser looking for P2. No one has the advantage. Haven't mentioned it yet, but North Wilkesboro, a very weird circuit. Not only in terms of the length of this track, but also half of it is downhill, half of it's uphill. It's on a slant. Headed downhill into 1 and 2, uphill into 3 and 4, and you have to treat both sets of corners very differently. It is an absolute beast to try and drive, especially with this new lower downforce truck package. So you see all these drivers slipping and sliding, even in single file conditions here. First side-by-side battle right now is for 9th. Matichek trying to hold on as McKinnon is challenging down low.
Yeah, most everybody running the bottom. Matichek is running higher up the racetrack in both sets of corners. Trying to use that momentum around here as McKinnon gets loose off of 4.
McKinnon has this spot outright, though. Matichek trying to just get in line here with Kyle Zittel now getting loose underneath. He might have that opportunity. No, he's going to stay up there at least temporarily. And now he'll file back in. I would imagine sometime soon we are going to get the new scan of North Wilkesboro. This is the, I guess, semi-fictionalized, recreated 1987 version of North Wilkesboro Speedway.
One thing the drivers will be happy about with a new scan will be the safer barrier, because right now it is concrete on the outside wall, and if you hit that with any sort of pace, you're pretty much dead. So it is very punishing.
Well, you don't like that rounded blunt attenuator next to the open section of the wall down the back stretch?
No, can't say I do.
We've seen a few races end at that particular spot. In fact, the Season 5 North Wilkesboro race here, I believe Andy Poliski found that section of the wall. And it was over very quickly.
It's just in a spot where a lot of people, a lot of incidents happen off of turn number 2, so as you head down the backstretch after getting loose or getting turned sideways, it's very easy to hit that section of the racetrack.
Jeremy McKinnon trying to move forward here, challenging for 8th to the inside of Paul Ellison. And he will take it.
And McKinnon's got Luke Peterson up next.
So it's still Gunter leading. Schlosser, K, Van Leer, and Poliski the top 5. And you got Stearns in 6, Peterson, McKinnon, Ellison, Matichek the top 10. Little side-by-side for 14th, Kevin Sargent and Steve Roman. As Sargent is up the track and into the door of the 0-0 there. And Hayden Palumbo, remember, started technically in the 7th position, but he had an EOL penalty. So this is him marching through this field, trying to get into the top 15.
And a very good short track racer, so there's no surprise that he's starting to make his way through, but started deep in the field. It's going to be difficult to keep her going here. Especially caught behind side by side.
Yeah, where is your way through here other than the bumper? Kevin Sargent, fresh off his best finish of the season. P6 last week at Charlotte. Will fall back into line behind Vroman, opens the door for Palumbo. He is already gobbled up the 09 and will take 15th away. Jan Van Leer up front, getting a little bit closer to John K for 3rd.
Jan, of course, notoriously good at short tracks, both in terms of pace and strategy.
Certainly the strategy part, but he also had to play a lot of defense in his win here and his win at Martinsville. Even the one at Thompson, too. As not exciting as that race was, the final 2 laps were very exciting, and Jan was still able to walk away with it. Hayden Palumbo's gotten through on Steve Vroman, so moved the 54 up to 14th. And Sergeant Vroman right back to side-by-side battling. It's all Brody Gunter up at the front of this field by over a second over Matt Schlosser. And now as quickly as JVL pulled up to John Kay, Poliski and Stearns are doing the same to the 5 truck.
And Poliski trying to follow up the big win with another solid performance here. He's in a good spot right now, but definitely can't count him before they hatch, because we know what has happened throughout season number 9 for the 32.
Here's a fun little factoid for you. Andy Poliski in his season 5 championship run is, there's some smoke there. Don't see anybody slow, though. In his season 5 championship run, he only won 2 races that season, and they were back-to-back. So you know who I'm putting my chips on if Poliski's able to walk away with another dub tonight. The numbers don't lie.
Well, I mean, I think that just shows how consistent he is, and if he can get that consistency back, I mean, that's going to do wonders in a chase format. So, I mean, he is, even though he's had a slow start to the season, he might be coming to life just at the right time.
He certainly has, if the last month of results are anything to show, so excluding the All-Star race, of course. But he was looking for a move there on Jan, but just as quickly as he was, Chad Stearns looks to the inside now. Andy going the long way around.
Yeah, I mean, Andy has been using both the bottom and the top here to get past Stearns. And then he's kind of been liking the outside here, trying to make a move on the 5. I think he just got a little too deep the last time around, but and he's super loose there. Boy, he's got to be careful, though. Stearns is going to take his opportunity should Poliski continue to toy around with the number 5. He is the meat and a number 5.
Oh, he's
sandwich.
loose!
Whoa!
Let's say he's losing the rear end of this truck, and wow, what a save.
You don't see Stearns light him up like that too often. He's usually the slow and steady type when it comes to corner speed, but boy, he really got into him there.
I think that also speaks to how hard it is to pass here once you get under a green flag run. As Cole Maxwell's down in the grass there on the inside of the track, and we'll see if he's going to tow back. He will. It will not trigger a caution. One driver that's not having many problems passing is Zach Lockett, or rather is Hayden Palumbo, and he's got Zach Lockett to his outside.
Yeah, Palumbo's starting to get into the drivers where these battles are going to start getting tougher, though.
He was
Not
able
that
to get
they
through
weren't tough
Tyler
before.
Logan. Well, he made him look pretty easy, though.
He does get through on Lockett there on the inside.
Yeah, Hayden Palumbo was in a great spot to even potentially win last week. It all goes away. He gets trapped a lap down under a weird caution. And, he loses some of his points cushion as well, but he is making mincemeat of the midfield thus far here at North Wilkesboro. Lap 38 is on the board. Brody Gunter has led every single lap thus far. He's got 2.5 seconds back to Matt Schlosser. Schlosser on cruise control with John Kay, Jan Van Leer, Andy Poliski, the rest of the top 5. And Poliski again trying to draw a bead here on Jan Van Leer for 4th. Man, you just see how loose Poliski gets when he tries to put the power down. But he's also riding right in the tire tracks of Jan Van Leer. for the most part anyway.
Palumbo continuing his march forward. He is, underneath of Kyle Zittel. They nearly get together there in turn one.
Teammates battling for position. Zittel another chase hopeful.
Zittel is using the momentum on the outside to his advantage to play some defense here.
Ooh, rear grip's starting to be an issue, it looks like, for Jan Van Leer. He is really skewing the back end of this truck out. Try and get these tires back to temperature here to defend against Poliski, who's got a big run into turn number 3. Poliski putting the power down. Jan will come back with the momentum there from the top side. But Andy's right where he wants to be for turn 3. Good stuff from last week's race winner and Season 5 champion. He's up to 4th. Stearns closing back in on this duo. He's bringing Jeremy McKinnon with him. One more in the grass. I think it's Gary Clark. And Clark is going to bring it down pit road. He doesn't really have much of a choice.
Palumbo faded from Kyle Zittel for a moment, but took another shot there in turns 3 and 4. Not able to make it work.
And to your point about these passes getting more difficult, they certainly are, but I mean, he's also beating these tires like a drum. At some point, you got to pay the piper.
Palumbo, bold move there, able to make it happen. Here comes Chad Stearns underneath of Jan Van Leer. No surprise, Chad Stearns starting to make some moves here in the latter half of the run.
Little 5-on-5 action. The 05 will move himself up to 5th. Garrett Rainey is back out on track, multiple laps down. He will be somewhat of an obstacle here, though I'm sure he'll keep himself to the top side of the track. Just not a whole lot of room to operate, and not a whole lot of room of places you want to be here at North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, especially on exit. I mean, through the middle of the corners, it's fairly wide, but then it's like, where do we go from here when you start to get to the exit of the corners? You can't put each other in bad spots. So, yeah, it gets very tight, especially out of turn 2. That is a tricky one. Actually, Rainey is running similar lap times to McKinnon all the way on the top of the racetrack right now.
There is some grip up there, but also Rainey is, I'm assuming, on about 30 lap fresher tires. Kind of just come out of the pits.
Came down on lap 14.
I think he's on lap 14. Well, what lap is he on? He's on lap 20, so he's on 5 lap tires. So that'll go to show what 4 fresh Dr. Feelgoods will do for you. Now that we've got somewhat of a long green flag run in, I think we were a bit dismissive of it earlier. Not saying we won't get a caution here quickly, but the fuel number here I don't think is anything too crazy. I think the real question is going to be, when do you want to take rubber?
Yeah, it's tough because you don't want to get yourself trapped a lap or even multiple laps down here. And that's very possible, especially, I mean, you start talking about these drivers kind of get into a rhythm as the tires warm up and then start to wear throughout a long run. You come down and get cold tires on there, you kind of forget how it drives. It's very easy for a caution to quickly come out after a few pit stops. So you don't want to come in too early, get trapped down, but you don't want to stay out too late and put yourself at a disadvantage strategy-wise. So it's if this does continue to go green, it's going to be a very tricky decision, I think, to decide when you want to come down. I would assume they can go probably at least 100 laps on fuel. I don't know. They might even be able to make it 120 laps on fuel, but I don't know if you want to push it that far. I mean, I would say 100 is probably a decent spot to get to, but I mean, it's kind of luck of the draw as far as cautions go.
Boy, look at this grouping all of a sudden. Behind Jan Van Leer, Peterson, McKinnon, Ellison, Matichek, Colombo. 5 drivers under a blanket.
Andy Poliski coming up to try and take the 3rd spot away from John Kay as well. Poliski is rolling right now.
He's got Chad Stearns not too far behind him. Into some lap traffic. May box Kay out here. And to your point about pit stops as well, yes, cold tires certainly could bring out a caution. Pitting in and out, extremely difficult here. Look at Cole Maxwell right there. That's the blend line out of pit road. It's right in the racing line into turn 1. I mean, calamity corner.
Whoa, McKinnon got pretty loose there underneath of Matichek.
Jeremy's starting to go backwards here. Palumbo is past the most drivers, no doubt here tonight, but he's on the outside at 3 wide as Maxwell trying to hug this white line. McKinnon up the track, nearly into the quarter panel there.
That's what we were talking about earlier, that exit of those corners. You just come together quickly sometimes. Here's Matichek with a pretty big run on the 55. He's going to continue to try and move forward.
Yeah, Ellison went about a groove too high there in 3 and 4.
And we'll get Joshua's camera up there for Bailey. She's waited long enough.
Good move.
I mean, this is one of those places that when somebody makes a mistake, you have to be able to capitalize, and Matichek able to take advantage of the slip up there from the 55.
You see the 09 here of Kevin Sargent. He has been on pit road. Remember, he was battling inside the top 15. So that may start to alert some of these drivers. Maybe tip the scales in terms of a 2-stopper here for tires. Again, certainly a 1-stop on fuel as Jan Van Leer is dirt tracking it down the backstretch.
Yeah, Peterson nearly about got into him. Matichek nearly about got into Peterson as well. Here's the in-car for Matichek, and you can see the big movements from the rear of the truck there for Jan. And there's another one out of 4. He is really starting to struggle.
Hello to Rob Williams as well. I don't know if we mentioned him or not, but thanks for hanging out with us. Palumbo inching closer and closer. He's gotten through on Paul Ellison now. With 100 to go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting when Palumbo gets to Matichek. I mean, he's already here, basically, to Matichek, Peterson, and Jan Van Leer. I mean, with those 3, all very stout drivers battling amongst each other, it is going to be hard to go anywhere.
Jan is loose. It's hard to play defense when you can't even get the truck to stay underneath of you. He's putting up a good fight, though. Now shuffled to the outside. Peterson should be able to get this pass done in turn 1. Again, maybe not. Jan fighting back.
Oh, got into the wall a little bit. That will allow Peterson to inch forward a little bit more. Should be clear, but Jan will have a big run. Doesn't matter. Peterson takes it to 6. Now Matichek gonna try and go to work on the number 5 here.
Jan just struggling to hang on.
Ooh, Chad Stearns
Chad
is
Stearns.
underneath of John Kay as well.
He closed it to a couple truck lengths, but that's good work there by the 05.
So Kay ran in third for a long time, now starting to go backwards a little bit. He might be thinking about a pit stop here in 10 to 15 laps.
John Kay triggering an undercut?
Who would have thought?
No, not me. Next you're going to tell me Steve Roman's going to be the last driver to come down pit road.
I don't know. He's been beat out by a couple drivers this season. We have some more drivers that are daring to take those strategies this season.
What a great green flag run here. Hopefully I didn't just jinx it. But since the drop of the green on lap 8.
Man, another driver that's really going to be looking towards pit road here before too long is Jan Van Leer as Ellison.
Whoa!
I mean, he just about completely lost it. He definitely lost it, though.
Yeah, he got it back, though. That's, I don't know, you get loose on the backstretch like that, you're usually getting your clock cleaned.
Able to get it under control before hitting the inside wall as well. That is very, very important here. So Ellison was looking for a pass on Jan. Now we'll settle back into 12th. And Jan is safe for now.
Paul Sargent again not in forward position to the outside of Jeremy McKinnon. Very nice save. Oh, and McKinnon has to track it down to the inside line there as well. And that puts Zittel to his outside.
Oh,
Zittel
boy.
Shoot the gap here, 3 wide. Paul Sargent doesn't want anything to do with it. Good call.
Yeah. Pretty bold move there by Zittel. I mean, he did not back down whatsoever. In fact, he probably gassed it up there through the middle.
Zittel needs big swings, and one of the drivers that he's racing to the chase with is Jeremy McKinnon. We mentioned McKinnon has missed 3 races this season, so really he's missed 2 with a provisional included in that. I mean, McKinnon's just been lights out this season. This is about, and this isn't even that bad, but this is about the worst we've seen him this season, which is saying a lot.
Yeah, we never saw him take off like he usually does was the problem. This is kind of his typical scenario, I feel like, but he just didn't take off very well at the beginning of the race to get himself up towards the front to then even out.
Well, if you ever have a chat with Jeremy, you'll know that short track racing is maybe his least favorite thing outside of dirt racing. I was shocked he was at Bristol Dirt. And let alone the fact that he got a top 10.
I was going to say, the tides might be turning. I think short track racing might be lower on the list than dirt track racing here before too long.
Here's Gary Clark on fresher tires, just blowing through the field. Jan Van Leer had to track it all the way down to the grass on the backstretch a couple of laps ago to save this truck. I think you're right. Him and John Kay, who's getting passed by Luke Peterson and Joshua Monacek right now.
Oh, Eric Breeding!
Oh, Breeding.
He, I think, made some contact with the inside wall, but nothing too heavy, but he may make his way down pit road now.
Nope. He is staying out.
Better than I would have called it right there. That's my pit. I was trying to get the pit road right there. I just went too early. Okay, sideways.
Into
it's gonna bring a
Palumbo.
caution out.
And that is our second caution of the night. And Kay needs to get this truck back in motion quickly to stay in front of Brody Gunter. Ruh-roh. Well, all that strategy that we were just talking about is gone.
Yep, no doubt about it. Everybody will be down pit road, and yeah, they won't have to come down again. And here they come. Man, that is not much time to catch up with the field.
No, it is not.
And as a result, Gunter is going to easily win that race. Not even really a race off a pit road. Let's take a look at the incident here for John. He's got Matichek on his inside. John's on the outside. Palumbo running the bottom right here underneath of Matichek. And John is trying to use this momentum, trying to get the power down. And he gets loose. You see that wheel crank to the right, but it was far too late. Does get into Palumbo. Palumbo hits the inside wall, which is just completely concrete. It damages the truck pretty badly, so hopefully Palumbo doesn't have too much left side damage there. Also makes contact with John Kay when he comes back up. Let's take a look at this full speed. Not a bad entry. Man, he's hardly back into it. And just like that, snaps right around. Did not take much. Well, we're just a little over halfway through now.
Very nice 75 lap long green flag run. That is far and away the longest we've ever had here at North Wilkesboro across any series. So well done to the Venom Truck Series drivers, and here's to hoping that it does not all go awry from here. But you know the saying, caution's breeding cautions. We'll have 16 drivers on the lead lap. Or rather, we'll have 18 drivers on the lead lap. At the tail of the field will be Josh Freed, who got the lucky dog, and also John Kay, who is claiming responsibility for that caution. So the other 16 will have a go here. Behind Brody Gunter, back to green. Schlosser, best restart thus far as Poliski's right up and into the numbers there. It loosens up Matt Schlosser. Poliski being aggressive.
Still side by side with Matt Schlosser, 2x2 for as far as the eye can see behind these two.
Zittel able to find some single file room, but he's the only one. Everybody else is having to work for it behind Gunter.
And it looks like Schlosser is going to beat Poliski out, so they'll settle back into their 1-2-3 order.
That caution helped Jan Van Leer a bunch, as Stern's nearly up in the quarter panel right as I said that. But Jan is back to fourth. Stern's still trying to challenge here. We got a big split right in the middle of this field. Something tells me we had something happen behind Brantley Gainey, who's running at 20th. There's a lot of space between our two groups. Lockett and Matichek side by side here for 8th. Lockett around the outside, hanging on. Schlosser is as close as he's been since the single-digit laps of this race. 0.4 of a second behind Gunter, who has led every single lap tonight. Can he do anything with this new opportunity here?
Palumbo with better track position and even tires to the rest of the field now. Hasn't really been able to work his way forward too much at this point. He's got Matichek and Ellison side by side in front of him. Tyler Logan, Jeremy McKinnon side by side behind this little group. And Rodney Matney right there with them as well.
Yeah, these two have been racing each other hard. They've made contact a couple of different times. Of course, it's not intentional, but if there's anybody I don't want to rough up, it's Jeremy McKinnon. But
he's aggressive enough. You don't need to give him a reason to be more aggressive.
Definitely not.
Matichek able to
go at it.
Clear Paul Ellison. That was a hard-fought battle for Matichek to be able to come out on top. Now it'll open the door for Palumbo to try and make a move on the 55.
Palumbo, like he has much of this season, very fast, but he's been fighting from underneath, to borrow a wrestling term. But he has been fighting well. Back into the top 10 he goes. Whoa, he sent it there into turn 3. Got the grass there, trying to look underneath Matichek there on exit.
That group was about as nose to tail as you can get there for a couple of laps. Now they're starting to separate from each other. Couple high, couple low, couple in the middle.
And Logan and McKinnon have flip-flopped each other. Now it's Logan on the outside. McKinnon had to get on the binders there, lost the rear tires. So he'll give up the battle with Logan. Well, no, he won't. He's right back to the inside.
Yeah, Logan's going to have that momentum. He's going to go around the outside here.
Mentioned Rodney Matney. I don't think Matney is on the lead lap.
He is not. He is trapped one lap down, I believe. And in fact, it might be 2 laps down.
I believe he is 1 lap down. Tyler Burgert and Brian Mitchell are ahead of him in the order. They are both 1 lap down. Right now it would be Burgert as Brian Mitchell got in the wall there through turn 4. But Burgert has the lucky dog spot should the caution come out, as long as he's not involved in said caution. So I was right the first time. There are 16 drivers on the lead lap.
McKinnon and Logan right back at it. Steve Rowan put himself into the picture here.
And Roman is on the lead lap, so this would be for position. Palumbo, Matichek, Lockett, all slicing and dicing through traffic here. As Matichek nearly into the back there of the 93 of Lockett.
This is getting interesting.
Yes, it is. 3 wide.
Oh, man. I thought Lockett was going to get turned there.
Holyfield, another lap truck.
If anything, Netcode could have taken them out as close as they were.
Boy, Holyfield's race got screwed up by his decision to pit under the first caution. Did not beat the pace car past the exit of pit road and tracked him a lap down. Now he's 2 laps down.
This is a large group. Only about half of them are on the lead lap.
Yeah, this is a mess. It's like the lead pack at Daytona earlier this season.
Chad Stern starting to creep up to Jan Van Leer again here. As we'll go on board with the 05. Man, even a lot of wheel movements there for Chad Stearns, who is normally a very smooth operator. Oh, Jan Van Leer, a big wiggle there out of 2. That's just the nature of the beast here in North Wilkesboro. You will get slideways, but can you keep it under control?
Brian Mitchell will limp his 78 truck to pit road. He's had a couple of problems here since the restart. Was running for the lucky dog position, but not anymore. Truck slow on track. It's Paul Sargent. And he will bring it back out onto the track and bring out the caution for just the 3rd time. He was trying to get the truck turned around. And I believe Tyler Burgert is going to get himself back on the lead lap here. But he was side by side with Rodney Matney when the caution came out. So saved by the bell for Burgert. But caution number 3 for everybody else.
And this is easy to do. Sargent coming out at 2. Man, he does a great job of keeping it off the outside wall, but he had to gas it up to stay away from the outside wall and unfortunately found the inside wall. And then to get it turned around, had to come out on the racetrack, and caution flew. Take another look at it from the eyes of the driver. So where does strategy take us now?
Oh, boy.
Some drivers down pit road here that were on the lead lap. Logan, Freed, Burgert.
And Jeremy McKinnon as well came in on the first lap of caution. Burgert, of course, getting the lucky dog. So Logan and Freed came down on the 2nd lap of the caution period. Brantley Gainey, who will be fighting for the lucky dog here, also came down pit road. So did Rodney Matney. And, a few others here and there. And only those 4 drivers now from our 17 lead lappers. McKinnon, Logan, Freed, and Burgert. Britta Gunter has still led every lap thus far. Matt Schlosser going to have to restart from the outside. It is not firing off very well. And Gunter is very good at picking his spots here. Whoa, and Gunter loses it there. Poliski might have an opportunity to strike. He'll look for the lead in 1.
Oh,
into
contact.
The door. Just a touch there. It's less than we usually get from these two. Storied history here. Gunter with the momentum from the top side. Still has not shaken Poliski. Now maybe he has. Poliski still going to go down low here in 1. Gunter survives that one.
Big wiggle there on the 32. Man, he wanted that one bad. I don't blame him. You put yourself out in front here with some track position. It does you wonders, as we've seen from Gunter.
Well, they're going to stack up here on the inside. They are literally nose to tail. Back to Luke Peterson. Concertina effect just a bit. Poliski takes over second. Schlosser's back to third for the first time this race. Stearns and Jan Van Leer riding in the top 5 like they have been most of the evening. Poliski mega loose there at a 2. Schlosser coming back.
A lot of checking a crossover down underneath of Kyle Zittel. He's trying to anyways. Not quite able to get there. Here comes Palumbo underneath of Lockett. So Palumbo fighting his way into the top 10 again here on the restart.
McKinnon taking Palumbo 3 wide. Palumbo will slide up in front of Lockett, but still will have to contend with McKinnon. And Jeremy on fresh tires, on the move forward. That was not a crazy long green flag run, maybe 15, 20 laps, and look at the advantage McKinnon's got here. Blazing his own trail. Josh Freed and Tyler Logan following suit, although they're having a little bit more difficulty. Oh, McKinnon is loose, and he's around in front of Zittel. Caution's out. Zittel with a glancing blow, but everybody else did a good job not to pile in and make it worse. McKinnon rocking and rolling there, but all of a sudden that truck just came out from underneath of him. With how stacked up they were there, that could have been an absolute parking lot, and only 2 drivers with contact.
I have a feeling this is going to bring some drivers down, and yep, Stearns, Jan Van Leer, Peterson, Lockett, Kay, Ellison. Quite a few do stay out.
That's the one. Lucky Dog, I believe, will go to Brantley Gandy, and yes, it is. He's rolling around the top side of the track. Caution number 4 here. Inside of 40 to go.
Stearns is going to beat Kay and Jan Van Leer out.
So that should get him to, what, 10th, 11th?
Yes, I believe so. Somewhere right around there. Let's take a look at the incident for McKinnon, who was running the top, running the bottom. He was all over this racetrack and making moves on the restart. Oh, man, he is loose immediately on entry. I mean, he never had this thing under control really through this entire corner. Man, that was a pretty good job by Kyle Zittel. I mean, he did touch him just a little bit, but, I mean, McKinnon came right across his nose, right up in front of him, and Zittel did a great job to avoid. Seems
he landed right in his lap.
Yeah, no kidding. Seems like McKinnon may have just carried a little bit too much speed here because he sailed it up the racetrack. And if we have time, we'll take one more look from Kyle Zittel.
Well, they just extended the caution here, so you're good.
Oh, man, I mean, Zittel kind of saw it coming, but couldn't have known that McKinnon was going to come straight up the racetrack. I mean, there's oftentimes you kind of slide there in the bottom and able to keep it down there. So, I mean, he basically saves his race here. He's going to start on the second row. if he would have made more significant contact with McKinnon there, certainly could have been starting outside the top 10.
Tyler Burgert came down pit road after everybody else. And John Kay came back down pit road, curiously enough. So Chad Stearns, first driver on fresh tires in 10th. Gunter back to it. Kaliski on the outside. That's the best restart we've seen from the outside pole yet. Already clear of Schlosser. Free to challenge Gunter if he can find a way through. Monacek and Zittel side by side for fourth. Palumbo in that mix. Problems, Jan Van Leer. Zach Lockett,
boy.
they're stacking up now. Oh, Rodney Matney, Garrett Rainey, they all get big pieces of that, and Jan Van Leer is smoking. That is not what driver 5 needed after a top 5 run all day.
Some big pylons there from Lockett, Sargent. Maybe a couple others as well. Maxwell going to make his way down pit road, along with Jan Van Leer and Paul Sargent.
Man.
Let's back it up, take a look at what happens here.
Man, that looks wild.
And it looks like, man, I mean, Jan is almost on the straight, and that truck is still trying to spit out on him, and it does. I mean, he was almost all the way out of the corner. It stacks him up. John Kay gets into Zach Lockett, and this is where more activity happens as Lockett comes careening up the racetrack. And this is where Sargent and Holyfield get a pretty big piece. So does Rodney Matney there. And, oh, man, I didn't see Garrett Rainey in the back. He takes a big shot as well. You see Cole Maxwell and Sargent getting together up there on the top.
So Rodney Matney's race is over. But, I mean, yeah, the rug just got pulled out from underneath that 5 truck at a very weird spot.
I mean, usually, I mean, from what we've seen already today, typically you're already spinning, I mean, in the middle of the corners when you're trying to get the power down, or somewhere around there. I mean, let's go full speed. Wow, that is crazy. I mean, he's almost got the wheel straight again, and I mean, turns straight around. That is wild.
Oh, we're back to green, and Steve Roman on the restart misses a shift and really stacks up a whole bunch of people, including Chad Stearns. Stearns with a penalty. I think maybe for passing Steve Roman. But Roman missed a shift. He went from second down to first. I cannot believe they didn't crash. Caution's out. Paul Ellison around.
Sounds like Ellison had some help. We're going to take a quick look, because we're going to try and look for the... Look at the restart here as well. Oh, and Gainey just up the racetrack a bit. Comes right up and tags Paul. Paul, not a lot of contact. Everybody's able to get through. Wow, that was certainly close. So let's take a look at the restart. as Roman is starting directly in front of Stearns. Oh, I mean, Tommy called it. Stearns gets hard into the back of Roman as Roman, I mean, comes to almost to a complete stop right in the middle of the restart. And the Stearns black flag comes from going underneath of Roman and passing him before getting to the start-finish line. Is that getting cleared? Was that reviewed?
That is certainly getting cleared, yes.
Okay. That's the right call.
Agreed. Brantley Greeny will take responsibility for that one. He's still in the lead lap, but will be at the end of the line. But that really puts Stearns back in the running order. That moves him back to 14th. So cautions breeding cautions here. We're on track for less than average, but that can change here pretty quickly, coming to 20 laps to go. Gunter has still led every lap thus far. Poliski, though, is giving him a run for his money. It's Kyle Zittel now who desperately needs to put up a good result. See what he does to get that. He'll restart in third. Matt Schlosser in fourth. Palumbo and Matacek. As problems for Eric Breeding, his steering wheel just came off. Apparently we're going to go green. He's back in motion.
Oh, not a good restart for Poliski there.
No, certainly not. Freed and Peterson, a little contact, and Freed is into the left rear quarter panel.
Whoa!
They are really stacking up.
Man, I don't know how
able to
Freed
drive
saved
away.
That.
No, I don't know either. Had some help on both ends of the truck there.
Zittel and Poliski still side by side. Schlosser able to get out in front of Palumbo, but starting to run out of room. Too wide in front of him.
And everybody running out of time to challenge Brody Gunter for a race win. Freed again with contact from Peterson from behind as they are slicing and dicing at the front.
Man, Poliski has been nearly clear of Zittel. Now Poliski going to go down to the bottom. It'll open the door for maybe Schlosser to run up top. Oh, contact between Schlosser and Zittel.
Oh, Tyler Logan into the outside wall. John Kay trying to take him 3 wide with Logan there on the outside. Freed in the middle. And Freed is loose.
Big time stacking up here. Brody Gunter well out in front already.
Already a 1 second advantage. Able to get away while they were battling for second. John Kay on the move.
Kay is on the freshest tires inside the top 10 right now. But he has nowhere to go with it currently.
No, he does not. Might have an opportunity. Nope, Logan going to cover him off there into 3. Went up the track into the back of Logan, nearly into the door of Matacek to his outside.
And now Logan's going to go to the top. Kay will have
Meanwhile,
an opportunity to run low.
For third, Schlosser underneath Zittel. Zittel up into the wall there out of 4.
Some door-to-door there between those two.
Schlosser getting his elbows out, looking for a spot on the podium. Palumbo will be looking to do the same here if Zittel can get back into line.
Look at John Kay looking to rail the outside on fresher tires.
Kay
Power
is
move
flying.
around Palumbo.
Zach Lockett's slow in the grass there down the backstretch. We're still green.
And John has much fresher tires than these drivers in the top 5. This might not be over.
It may not, but he's got to keep pounding here. Zittle loose. Palumbo around the outside.
Schlosser going to try and cover off the 2. Okay, he's going to get to the bottom. Oh, some door-to-door there between the 04 and the 2. Kay really needs to get clear. And he is. Next up is Andy Poliski. Might be too late to get to Gunter, but Kay might be able to get second.
Lap time for Kay is 2/10 of a second quicker than what Gunter's running, so he's running short on laps to go up for the lead. But certainly has plenty of time to get second. Lots of shuffling in the back half of the top 10. Zittel, Matichek, Stearns, Freed, Peterson, McKinnon, all jockeying here. As Kay going for P2, and he's got it.
Yep.
Just like that. 5 to go. 2 seconds now. In front is Brody Gunter. Caution, and it all changes again. Zach Lockett around in turn number 3. Uh-oh.
Wow.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. The last thing Gunter wanted to see. Especially with John Kay there in second. Lockett over the radio a couple laps before said, I can barely turn this thing. We saw him down in the grass just a few laps before that. So Lockett having a heck of a time. Bring out the 7th caution.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's one of those that probably would not have been thrown had it not been automatic cautions. So that will be a point of contention, I'm sure, depending on how the end of this race goes.
The good news for Lockett is he's the only driver 1 lap down. I think Austin Holyfield, 2 laps down, is going to get the lucky dog here. So I guess he'll be 1 lap down as well. Tyler Berger, the only driver from the lead lap to pit under this caution. And now as I say that, Brantley Gainey will come down pit road.
Here's a look at the drivers running cameras for us here tonight. We've shown them all periodically. Thanks for showing up. John Kay, Andy Poliski, Luke Peterson, and Josh Matichek are those drivers. Almost all of them in the top 10. I think Peterson might be just outside.
He was one of those drivers under the blanket there. We have not talked much about Brody Gunter here tonight thus far. Looks like he's going to take the outside here for this restart. Very interesting. But similar to Jeremy McKinnon, he's missed a couple of races outside of his provisional allotment. And Gunter is just outside of that win at Daytona Road Course, man. He has had some horrendous luck. I think he's got 1 win and an additional podium here this season. He needs this win tonight. He's led every lap thus far, but now we're into overtime at a short track. A bunch of short track aces all around. Can Gunter fend him off for the race win here tonight? Can he go wire to wire? Oh, John Kay spins the tires hard.
And I think that was a strategy for Gunter to get the big jump off the top and hope that Kay made a mistake just like that.
Kay not done. Sends it in deep. Gunter still able to open up that gap by a half truck length. 1 to go. It's official.
Okay, big send.
Tyler Logan challenging around the outside of Andy Poliski for 4th. Kay closes that gap. He sent it in deep, but couldn't make it stick. Brody Gunter, 2nd win of the season. And a wire-to-wire win from the pole for the 0-1. And a spin for good measure. Win number 8 of his career. 2nd of the season after the Daytona Road Course, and Brody Gunter is right back in the chase hunt. We talked about his run of finishes up to the Daytona Road Course victory. And a very similar streak of finishes well outside the top 20. Most of those nights that he was running inside the top 5, or at least the top 10. But Gunter back to form here tonight. Spectacular stuff.
And now the big celebration will be on.
It always is with the Super Kick and Alabama gang drivers. And what, only 8 cautions here tonight? 7 cautions? That's the least that we've ever had here at North Wilkesboro. The previous record was 10. With the full Kawicki lap here for Brody Gunter. After taking his 8th career pole, he'll take his 8th career win. Add another 165, make it 168 laps into the laps led tally. He is creeping up on 1,000 here very quickly in just 44 career Venom Truck Series starts.
Gunter and Peterson doing a little tandem drifting action there.
Well, as chaotic as the 1.5 miles was last week, I got to say expectations were pretty low here tonight, just given how difficult this track is to begin with. But boy, the Venom Truck Series drivers kicked some ass tonight. So big round of applause to all of them. As we get into our full finishing rundown here, Brody Gunter with the win, John Kay in 2nd, Matt Schlosser will finish in 3rd. We'll talk to all 3 of these gentlemen here momentarily. 4th place and a hard-fought one at that for Tyler Logan to go plus 12 here tonight. He will take his 2nd top 5 of the season, his 1st since Daytona. Well done to him. Nice follow-up for Andy Poliski to the race win last week. He'll round out your top 5. Hayden Palumbo passed the most trucks here tonight. There's not a doubt about that. He will finish in 6th after an EOL to start this race. Joshua Monacek, pretty hard-fought 7th place. He was in the thick of it all night. Josh Freed with a great run through the field, 21st to 8th for him. Kyle Zittel fades back late, but will still take home a top 10 and a much-needed one at that. Chad Stearns, with late race problems, will finish in 10th. Jeremy McKinnon in 11th. Luke Peterson 12th. Tyler Bergert will finish in the 13th position. That is one of his best finishes of the season. Paul Ellison in 14th. Brantley Gainey will round out your top 15. Steve Roman and Brian Mitchell, the 17 drivers on the lead lap at the end of this one. 18th for Austin Holyfield. Zach Lockett in 19th. Eric Breeding in 20th. 21st for Kevin Sargent. He is the final driver running at the end of this one, I do believe. Maybe a couple scattered through this lineup here. 22nd for Gary Clark. 23rd for Cole Maxwell. 24th, Paul Sargent. Jan Van Leer, disappointing 25th tonight after being in the top 5 pretty much all night long. Garrett Rainey, 26th, and Rodney Matney, the 27th and final starter here this evening. So we'll go in search of your 3rd place finisher, and it's always good to get to talk to Matt Schlosser. Talked to him last week on a Tuesday night at Charlotte. It's third place here tonight from North Wilkesboro. But what a pleasure as always, and a very interesting race here tonight.
Yeah, that's for sure. That was a very long green run there to get things going. It was really fun. A lot of hard work. My arms were getting pretty tired. But yeah, it was a really awesome, fun race to have that long green run and then a little bit of strategy, weirdness with the different cautions and stuff. So yeah, it was a good one, and was able to stay up front, avoid any type of chaos, and managed to finish on the podium. So it was a good day.
Yeah, that 75-lap long green flag run after the first caution of the night. Gunter got away from you pretty quickly. We had sort of a smaller green flag run, though, after that caution, somewhere in the range of 20, maybe 25 laps. You were able to stay with Gunter there pretty well through that one. I mean, what did you learn from the first run to the second run that you were able to carry through the rest of the race?
Yeah, I mean, I think he was running a little bit better line than I was. Like, I've kind of always run a certain line here, and I think he had just something that was better. And I was able to just kind of follow his tire tracks and hang with him a little bit. I was pushing pretty hard because I was like, if I can get to him and steal the lead and then the caution comes out, then I could be the one to control the restarts through the potential slew of cautions that followed. But I had nothing for him. He was very fast and deserved to win that. And yeah, it was definitely hard to keep up with him in the early long run, and he had like a 5-second lead. It was fun battling through lap traffic, but it was tough to pass. It's a tough track to get through lap traffic, but yeah, it was pretty cool.
Societal representation. Matt, what you got for your P3 finisher?
Yeah, big congrats to Society of Matt's member, Matt Schlosser. Congrats on the P3. Yeah, so you kind of mentioned the strategy that played out there at the end just briefly. I mean, there were only a few of you drivers that stayed out, and I think the last lap that you came down was maybe lap 85 or so. A lot of those drivers had 30, 40 lap fresher tires on an old track surface. Feels like it could be a pretty big advantage. I mean, how are you feeling going into those final restarts, as you knew you were at a disadvantage on the rubber side of things?
Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect. Like, my gut was to stay out. I saw a bunch of guys pit, and I was like, well, it might have been the wrong decision. I think if it had stayed green, it would have definitely been the wrong decision. But those few cautions broke things up. At the end of the day, I was like, if I stay out, I know I'm in third place and I can at least control my destiny for a bit. When you take tires and go back, you obviously have an advantage, but if one restart doesn't go your way, you could lose 5 spots, and then you're behind guys who you had behind you, who you were in front of, and you get kind of stuck in battling. And it ended up being the right call this time. It certainly could have been different if cautions fell a different way, but it worked out for John Kay. He said he had newer tires. I'm not exactly sure when he came in, but he obviously drove up there and might have had something for Brody if there were a few more laps or something. But yeah, it was one of those where you just hope you made the right call, and it ended up being a pretty fortunate call this time.
Well, I mean, certainly not doing the math on this, but you have definitely locked up a spot in the chase. We've done that for a couple weeks, but certainly with another podium run tonight, it's all but locked up. The real concern now is the regular season championship, and another night where Chad Stearns doesn't quite get the finish that he deserves. Problems for Luke Peterson. Some interesting races coming up. Darlington next week, Talladega, and essentially a double-length race at Rockingham. How do we feel to close up a regular season championship?
Feeling pretty optimistic. I mean, I think if my points lead might have grown a little bit here today, so I think if I can just stay out of trouble, pick up stage points, and finish in the top 10 most of those weeks, should be in pretty good shape. But of course, those guys can get hot and win some races and close the gap, and anything can happen. So feeling as good as I possibly can. Definitely want to finish out the regular season in first place so I can get that little bit of points advantage for the chase. And yeah, it'll be. I like all those tracks that are coming up though, so it should be fun.
Well, let's get some shout outs before we let you go.
Yeah. First off, shout out to the Venom Truck Series for that epic, long, clean run at a track where most leagues have had 30 or 50 cautions. So that was a pretty nice run there. So shout out to everyone. Shout out to everyone who puts the league on and all the admins for keeping everything together. Shout out to Turn 200. Shout out to my satellite teammates over at 939 Racing, or is it I forget, Racing or Motorsports. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Well, you are officially 14 points shy of cinching up mathematically at Chase Berth, but depending on how many cars show up next week, that could be a thing. But you are just about a full race clear on Chat and Stearns now atop the point standings. Matt Schlosser, congrats on the podium here tonight.
Cool. Thank you. Talk to you guys soon.
All right, we'll talk to your second place finisher. Start the clock. It is John K on the podium. The hard charger there at the end of it will come home with the P2 finish. Very interesting night in terms of strategy, and a fairly short track, clean night of racing, kind of, a little bit. You had to get your elbows out there late, but great drive driving through the field.
Yeah, that was something. That was a race, that's for sure. I don't know. It's a thing. It was a thing.
Well, you got that problem there with Hayden Palumbo. All of a sudden, you're at the back of this field, and then you like to come down pit road under one of the cautions. Then you come back down a second time. What was the deal with the second stop, and is that what got you where you got to there at the end of the race?
No, honestly, what happened was, it was just trying to make sure I didn't go a lap down while pitting. I didn't know where the pace truck was, and rather than take that risk of getting lapped twice, or getting lapped once, not twice, but just took right sides and then came back down, put lefts on it, and it was just a 4-tire stop done in 2 pit stops. It was just a thing. I had to make a bunch of adjustments to the truck and snorted a little, smelling salts.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, that was just making sure I had 4 tires on the truck and wasn't getting lapped because I didn't want to get stuck a lap down.
Well, I mean, there's Coke all over the walls here, and it is the 80s, so you could snort whatever you want. Matt, what did you got?
I try not to snort the walls. That kind of messes your truck up, but.
Yeah, congrats on the P2 here. I mean, you brought a caution out earlier in the race, and
thanks for reminding me. Appreciate that.
A hell of a
around that.
I don't mince words with Sean K.
This is why I don't like you. This is why I don't like you.
We're well past that at this point. Just to remind everybody, John K did bring a caution out.
Hey, just a reminder, Matt threw a terrible slider and drove me into the effing wall. So, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
I mean, you're not really kidding, but
it's all in good fun.
But I mean, you recover unbelievably well from that. I mean, at that point in the race, you're starting deep in the field. We had a long green flag run. I mean, on a green flag run like that, it's almost impossible to make up a lot of positions without some sort of strategy advantage coming your way, which it ended up. But I mean, after you spin, you got to kind of regroup. What is your mindset after you kind of put yourself in a hole and you just got to figure something out there?
Really, it was just it can't get any worse than right now. It was done. It was over with. It was go put 4 fresh tires on this thing and try not to try to just take care of it, because it don't make it any better if you just compound mistakes. And got past had to start obviously at the back with the EOL, and then drove through the first group of lap trucks, and then was starting to pull up on everybody and was running really good lap times. So I saved really well in case we did go really long there. But honestly, the biggest hole I dug was, it wasn't even spinning myself. It was, I didn't take care of my stuff in the first place and had fallen all the way back and just busted my ass. So made it a little worse, compounded the issue right there and said, nope, that's enough, and we'll just ride it out and see how it goes. And then Brody kicked my ass on a restart. So just another normal day at the office, honestly.
Well, it was a great points day here today. You're looking pretty comfortable at this point for the chase, and you've got some races coming up. Of course, Darlington at one point was your favorite track. I don't know if it still is or not, but you're a sadist and you enjoy that place. So,
oh man,
you've got a great support system at Talladega around you, whether or not you like racing there. And then you're a former winner at the Rock with the Venom Trek Series as well. So, I mean, on paper, this should be a decent 3-week stretch for you.
Yeah, it's you call me a sadist. Honestly, Darlington's. I love that track. I told Luke last week I wasn't even thinking about Wilkesboro. I'll be honest. I knew I was going to put some practice in, be halfway decent, but I was pretty much looking forward to next week. And I told Luke I might put in 1,000 laps because I just love that place. It's unlike anything else, honestly. So knowing my luck, every track I've gone to that I've liked, I've absolutely sucked. So hopefully that doesn't happen this week. We'll go take care of our stuff and do our job there, and then try to win Talladega. As long as I don't pull any dumb stuff like I did in the turn 200 race and spin my teammate out, it should be pretty good. And then Rockingham, good God, 250 laps. I might not have any arms after that thing, but there's a chance there could only be one truck running at the end of it too. So we'll see what happens, but should be a fun little stretch. I'm excited. This is two tracks that are a lot of fun to drive, and then Talladega where anybody can win. Tommy could come out of the booth and win.
Wow.
No, that's not what I meant. You're good. You're a good super speedway driver. I'm saying you didn't even let me finish. I was gonna say you could be 5 laps down, join the race 5 laps down from the booth and win it. It's just one of those places. It's one of those places. So that's gonna be gonna go have some fun to end the regular season, and actually the regular season finale is on my anniversary with my girlfriend. So yeah, we'll see if I get to race or not.
oh boy.
I'm just
joking. If this was you looking past North Wilkesboro here tonight, I'm very excited to see what comes to Darlington next week. We'll look forward to that, but let's get some shout outs before we let you go.
Yeah. Well, obviously shout out to my girlfriend. She's awesome. Crushing grad school. I don't know where she's at. Hopefully in the kitchen like she's supposed to be. Shout out to my mom and dad. My dad's birthday was actually, I think last Friday. I don't know. It was a couple days ago. But it was his birthday. He's, shout out to him. Congratulations on making it another year. I'm proud of you. And then shout out the whole team: Garrett, Paul, Kyle, Luke, Eric, Hayden. I'll shout out Brody because he's a good little race car driver. He does his thing really well, and it's hard to beat. He had everybody covered. I think he said he led every lap tonight. I was trying to make sure that he led one less, but can't do it sometimes. And shout out to my boss. Sean gave me a desk. Wouldn't be able to race without it. Shout out Couch if he's watching. Shout out Bryce, ticket guy at Eldora. If you want some tickets, call him. He's the man. He'll hook you up. And then shout out you guys for broadcasting, letting me ramble for entirely too long. I'm honestly sick of talking and listening. You're probably sick of listening to me talk. Vote for Tyler Bergert for most popular driver and subscribe to my YouTube, JK Gaming. Sure, it got plenty of airtime when I busted my ass and then got lucky with some fresh tires. So,
it might have.
Yeah. Hey, I will say it wasn't as good as Rockingham last season. That one was way better.
Well, yeah, I don't even know what to say. 5th podium of the season here tonight.
Yeah, I know what to say. Bye.
Thanks for the time. See ya. All right, we'll pull in Brody Gunter now. Always a tough one to follow up, John K. But Gunter, second win of the season, second wire-to-wire win of the season as well from the pole. Man, good stuff tonight.
Yes, this is such another very relieving, and I'll be honest, probably one of the most excited I've been wins. It was such a unique short track race for this league, especially at North Wilkesboro. And I think from the long green flag run to driving all the way through lap traffic to at one point I think I lapped 16th place I mean, to then holding off all the people, especially Chomp, that final 2-lap shootout, man, it was an exhausting night, and I am just so happy.
Yeah, I mean, 2 cautions in the first 90 laps of this race, 75 straight green flag laps there in the middle. And despite all the challenges there, every one of the 8 restarts that we had, you fired on from the inside, but some gamesmanship there, and it ends up paying off quite nicely. The move to the outside there on the final restart.
Yes, sir. I mean, that was partly because I knew John was on newer tires. I knew he was obviously fast to me. I hated that caution came out with, like, I think that time, like 4 to go, 5 to go. I felt like I could have held him off for that amount of laps. But yeah, the restart, it was, I started playing some like actual real life games, and I've taken from real life and adding them there, which I never do. I just usually just go. So I was really working hard for that one. I knew I was screwed almost when the white flag came out and I went to turn 1. He chased me down like 6 car lengths. So I went, oh, I'm screwed. He's gonna get me up in the 3 or off of 2. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I somehow managed to hang on to it. And I used to get the win. Only my second of the season. I mean, what a freaking roller coaster of a season with a lot of downs.
Yeah, certainly a wild one, and we'll touch on that more here in a second. But Matt, what you got here for Brody?
Yeah, congrats on the race win. I mean, a dominant performance, no doubt. And you kind of mentioned what I was going to ask you about. I mean, there haven't been a ton of breaks that have gone your way throughout Season 9. I imagine when that caution came out at the end, you had to be thinking, oh no, here we go again.
Definitely, and I just kept saying I don't want to do this because it was my teammate, and I knew how there's 2 ways, actually probably 3 ways I was gonna go. 1, I somehow managed to hold him off. 2, he drove by me. Or 3, we both drove to us so hard we wrecked and gave Andy the win, or Matt. So I just didn't want to, because it was my teammate. I didn't really want to have to battle him in a 2-lap shootout with him being on newer tires. If we were on the same tires, I felt like I've been able to do what I did the past couple of restarts and just drive and get away and be able to have that jump, be able to hold me off for 2 laps. But I was so nervous, and I was like, I really don't want to lead this whole race, get fastest lap, have no incidents, lead every lap, and then just lose it on the final 2 laps. So I was gonna race him hard. He said he was going to as well. He said he was trying to get to my door so he could door me up at the racetrack, but luckily that never happened.
Well, your season, like you said, it's been a lot of downs and some ups too. Absolutely. I mean, spank the field victories. No doubt about that. You're 4 points below the cut line as they sit. In one full race of you in either direction, you can get up to 7th or you could go down to 16th. I mean, it is absolutely jam-packed around the cut line here. 3 races coming up: Darlington, Talladega, and the endurance race at Rockingham. I mean, you're a driver's driver. Obviously, you're a driver in real life. So 2 of those tracks, in my head, seem to suit you very well. But how do you feel?
I don't really know. Like you said, I mean, it's been a crazy up and down season. Not even like season, just year. 2025 has been a terrible year. I believe my first win of 2025 came at ASL in Atlanta, which is only like a couple of weeks before Daytona, the road course. So that was my first ever win, 2025, and that was like in March, I believe. So, and then just, I mean, all the competed technical issues, internet issues I've had between, I mean, and then just the wrecks in this league that, I mean, I wouldn't really say all of them like with certain people's fault, just, you know, wrecks and bad scenarios, wrong place, wrong time. But with the upcoming races, I mean, Darlington, I'm not a fan of Darlington. I think I did well last time I was there. I can't if I was leading, or I was running second. I can't, maybe mixing up 2 different Darlington races. I was leading and running second behind John the entire time. So I feel like I might have good pace if I obviously can carry that same momentum from last time we ran to this one. It's just, I don't know if I've also ever finished in the lead lap at Darlington in this league. And then Rockingham, I have also mixed feeling about Rockingham. That's my probably least favorite track to go to if I had to pick. But I'll see what I could possibly do at that one.
Well, great stuff here tonight. Congrats on a fantastic victory, and let's get some shout-outs before we let you go.
I want to thank my team and like partner team, Super Kick Rival Racing and the Alabama Gang for all the help in this race and this season, as well as bringing me on. Kyle was helping me a lot on restarts, and then obviously John was kind of helping me and by being so kind to me to not door me on the final 2 laps. But now I'm just kidding. I appreciate all of them for the help this season. I want to thank CGI Corey at CGI Graphics for his amazing, and I'm sure everyone will agree, beautiful gold solid gold Lamborghini Ford F-150. I'm sure it's also the first Lamborghini winning at North Wilkesboro. That's never happened before. I want to thank also, obviously, I think he's on the truck, or if he's not, but I'll thank Josh at Music Productions, everyone at Venom on the board, or just obviously Racing 9 putting on a very clean, I'm sure, good show and race. You guys for 2200 for broadcasting this race and doing an amazing job broadcasting like you guys always do. And I hope to see you guys in the future in this league as well as in ASL.
Yeah, we're working on the Sunday. I don't have any equipment right now, but certainly Venom Truck Series is in our future. But yeah,
I was going to the roadside.
Oh well, yeah. Yeah. So good stuff here tonight. Congrats on the wire-to-wire victory. Yeah, we'll see you on Wednesday nights here coming up soon. But we'll hopefully see you back in Victory Lane again here soon. But hopefully we could just talk to you after Darlington's all said and done next week. But to go celebrate, go pretty hard.
I always tell people, well, maybe I just told I've gone over than ASL. My goal is to be able to talk to the broadcasters every night. So that's my goal, because that means I got a podium. In real life, that means you get a trophy, small one. But my goal is to make it to be able I can talk to the broadcast at night. Not a win, but still, if you can just get a second or third, it means a good solid point stay, a good solid run.
Well, we'll look forward to many more down the road here. But good stuff here tonight. Go celebrate, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, sounds good.
Oh man, my wheels are falling off. I am getting sicker by the second here. So we'll we'll wrap this up pretty quick. But Matt, I mean, all things considered, a pretty good night at the office here for the Venom Truck Series.
Yeah, I mean, at the top of the broadcast, we talked about how the last race here at North Wilkesboro was 22 cautions. We were a far, far better than that with that big green flag run that everybody's been talking about here tonight. So good stuff from the Venom Truck Series drivers. I think proving to Jeremy McKinnon that we can run short tracks in a league race. So, yeah, thanks to the drivers for putting on a show. Shout out to the podium finishers, Matt Schlosser, John Kay. Also, big shout out to Tyler Logan, a great fourth place finish here. I mean, he was right around the top 10 and then really came to life there at the end of the race. So great run there from Tyler, another good run from Andy, and nice win there. Very dominant for Brody Gunter. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat here tonight. Rob Williams, Tyler Berger, Robin Monacek, Stickers McQueen, Bailey Monacek, Lisa Kelly, and I think that was it. Thank you guys for tuning in and cheering on your favorite drivers. As always, appreciate the support here for both the Venom Truck Series and Turn 200, and we'll see you guys later on in the week.
And we keep mentioning Brody Gunter 4 points outside of the cut line in the 11th. The driver he is now chasing is Tyler Logan. So Tyler, with that great finish, puts himself above the cut line, at least for now, with 3 more rounds to go in the regular season. Next time we'll be on air will be Thursday night, the Max VCNC Home Designs Truck Series from Kansas at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Joshua Matacek and myself will have the call there. And a reminder as well, Brody Gunter brought it up in just a few Wednesdays here. It will be the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Auto Sports. It is only GT3s this season. It'll be myself and James Watson on the call on Wednesday nights. So excited to have James back in the booth. If you didn't hear our jumpy truck coverage, we'll hopefully not be seeing jumpy cars on Wednesday nights coming up here shortly. Yeah, so that will lead us into next Tuesday night. The Venom Truck Series will roll into Darlington, and it'll be Throwback Week. I love Throwback Week in the Venom Truck Series. They always throw it back to league paints. 9 times out of 10, somebody is running somebody else's paint from the league, and that is always super duper cool. So join us for Throwback Night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time from Darlington next week, and we'll hope to see you there for that one. That's all we got for you here tonight on behalf of everybody with the Venom Truck Series. On behalf of the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson, until we meet again from North Wilkesboro, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long and congratulations to Brody Gunter on career victory number 8 with the Venom Truck Series in the It's Never Too Early for VB Longneck 165. Have a good night, everybody.
This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.